Good morning, everyone. Firstly, this is a public apology because of my very bad, very abysmal, how would you call it, standings and finish at the Australian Nationals. But we'll get into the story now. So clarify a few things that I figured out, worked out, and otherwise enjoy the trip. And back again. Alrighty. This is basically just a little bit of a rundown on what happened, what didn't happen, what I'm pretty much disappointed in myself more than anything else, and the people that follow me. I went to the Australian Nationals in WA weekend before last. Great trip away, saw a lot of friends, a lot of races from other states there, big good catch up and all that type of stuff. And I went on the intent on doing possibly well in 13.5 because that was going to be my last time at any sort of national event or otherwise. Age is catching up. My body tells me I'm an idiot half the time for attempting all this, long trips and all that type of jazz, and I come back home after these trips and I'm absolutely knackered. So it is a rethink on what I do. Locals, Victorian state ones, yeah, will be my limit unless something special comes up, but we'll see how it goes. Now, the story as it stands, went there to try and do the best I could at the Nationals, try and actually get into the high Bs, get everything organised for that, built the car, felt really good. Okay, first day was Thursday with the trusty old T3M V2C, the conversion version of the T3M. The car on Thursday, which was basically open practice, was brilliant. Driving it was a pleasure, no issues at all. Playing around with trying to get speed and a little bit more rotation without upsetting the rear end because it had mechanically way too much grip on the rear. So, trying to work that out on Thursday, playing around with things, getting close to where I want it to be. Felt really good with the package. Only thing that was letting down was my driving, just overthinking everything as usual. You get nervous, you get nervous, you find yourself in the grass and stuff like that. But other than that, the car was really good. Speed down the straight, not an issue. Rotation through the corners, had to work out a little bit on that, no problems at all. Playing around with the package. The package was running the good old RAS shocks. Now these things are an absolute godsend. They're so easy to set up. The best part of them is there's no need to bleed them. Once you assemble them and put them all together, make sure that the squishy's gone out of it, in other words, no air, and that's it, job's done. They work so well and are so easy to manipulate with pistons and oils depending on what you want to do. They are a progressive body, so they are literally wide at the bottom to narrow at the top, so they follow the size of the piston itself, the piston head itself. So these things are brilliant. Gone on to Friday morning, start with a bit more practice, then seating, I think, and then qualifiers after that. Trying to remember so much stuff, hence the brain's having a meltdown every so often. Long story behind that. Many years ago, I find myself in a position now where I cannot, pardon me, cough, find myself where I can't concentrate well enough for long periods of time. And I blew a seal. In one of the shocks, the top of it, the little cap itself, what was the cap? The cap's in here somewhere in the melee of bits and pieces. The actual cap itself has a seal. Now, it's its own size, so there's nothing else that's going to fit it. And unfortunately, I found myself in a position where the seal blew out. I don't know why. It's not common for a seal to blow out that way, but it was buggered. And I found myself in a position where I didn't have any spares. I didn't bring any spare shocks, these ones, or spare seals, because I've never had an issue with these at all. They've been really good. E.g., the other three here in the collection of bits and pieces, 1, 2, 3 are fine. This is the one with the blown seal. So, pain in the bum, absolute pain in the bum, and I couldn't change the seal on it. So, I did bring, on the off chance, instead of the RAS, the little linear shocks. The short linear shocks. Now, I've used these in the past and they've been really good, but the only thing that does my head on these is the need. I don't like rebound. I don't like the idea of rebound. I don't like it, and I try and actually That's why I use these prominently all the time, because you can't get rebound in these, which is the best part of it. Once it's in, it's in. Once it's out, it's out. And it's got consistent flow. These, got to get the rebound out of them. For me to do that is, I think I waste about maybe half a bottle of oil trying to get the rebound down, then they get squishy and have to refill it again and blah blah, and the drama goes on and on and on. Everyone knows about the drama with short shocks. Got them down to where I thought I had equal balance between them all. They looked pretty right. Felt they pretty right. I didn't have any tool to really measure it properly, but I did have... Oh, this is going to do me head in. Sorry, must be more prepared next time. Where are we? Sorry, guys. As he comes back on. Yeah, trying to do the linear shocks to get the rebound correct and the feel and the balance between left and right was my biggest headache on these things. I know a lot of guys like them, they prefer them, they prefer to use them. I don't. They just drive me insane. Now these ones, to give you an idea, have the X-ray really short, thin bladder, so the piston has a bit more up travel compared to what it has originally. Then obviously you set the length of the shock with the actual eyelet to the length of eyelet you use to the actual piston length. So with those, I tend to use that, which is the combination of a lot of phone calls, a lot of how would you call it, conversations with my suppliers overseas in China, where I did ask them to make that, and now it's a known commodity through other suppliers as well. But I gave them the idea, they came up with the drawings were spot on, make them. Just about sold out of those. I've got to get some more. They've been absolute godsend. Only for the reason is because if you look carefully, they've got stepped increments on the jaw, which means that you can, depending on your shock and what you need to do, and it's a good indication because Mr. Ryan Maker, in his instructions for the SP1, shows that the length that you need to set your piston between your eyelet and the bottom of the shock itself. Okay. Need to do that so focus is a lot better, but to give you an idea, to set that length, it's easier to do it with that. You pop that into here, whoops, the flat goes onto the flat side, and then you screw this in and out where you want it to actually sit. Okay, which is absolutely awesome. Screw it in, when it stops, take it out, that's your length. So you've got equal length all the way through, instead of trying to use verniers all the time, even though you've got to make sure that there's no swarf at the top of the actual eyelet to give it a false reading. So these things, shock pliers with the graduated scale jaw, and then also obviously you can do your balls as well to install suspension balls and pivot balls and turnbuckle balls. Absolutely brilliant. Those 2 points there and there, grabs the actual shock, hold in place, undo, do, and all that type of stuff. So these have been an absolute godsend. So happy I got onto my suppliers and they agreed to make that. Now that you find all other manufacturers are going to have the same unit. They're not a proprietary item. They are literally a modified shock tool, but with a difference. Blew those out, couldn't get the seal, getting back to the linear shocks, which were those little suckers there. They did my head in. I haven't played with linear shocks for a while, and it showed because I couldn't get the balance of the car back to what it was on Thursday to Friday. The car was, depending on what I tried, and I did ask a few people, still trying to get my head around what I had to do to the chassis. Figured it out too late, unfortunately. Trying to set up the car so it had equal balance left and right. It was pushing more in one turn than the other. Checked that everything was loose and working. Sway bars were working, which are the nitro type along one piece. They were working, they were correct. The suspension was dropping up and down equal, both left and right on the front as well. Just the balance between the shocks and the feel between the shocks wasn't quite right. And that's where it got me, unfortunately. Really proved the bane of my frustration, because unfortunately could not push the car hard enough. And towards the end, as they say, Q2 and Q3, qualified 2 and qualified 3, found myself in third position fighting. Out of, I think it was 6 people, I was in third. Car was feeling good, and I crashed out. Battery fell out of Q2, Q3, I think, is where I actually found myself on the grass. Once that happens, there's no coming back. Too many mistakes from the driver, too much chasing my tail trying to get the car to be balanced, not working correctly, just balanced left and right. A good turn in without it being too skittish and too much pull. Finished last. It is what it is. It is racing. These are going to be going back onto the car because I know the mechanics behind these and how well they do work on the chassis. So they're going to go back onto the car for the Geelong Challenge. They work well. They do need, just a quick pointer though, they do need a little bit more maintenance because you don't want dirt sitting inside the top where the piston comes up and down, because it'll drag the dirt down onto the seal and it could actually cause it for cutting. And I think that's what happened with the one that blew out. I think too much dirt got into the top and wrecked the seal, and that's why it blew out. It literally just all came out of the top, just, and it was all over the place. Had to clean the car down. But I prefer these. I know the limitations. I know what to do to set them up, and they tend to be a lot better for me. No one else, just me. It's just about me today, you know, that's all it is. So my apologies to the guys that were looking at me going, holy cow, what the hell is he doing? Well, he just couldn't get his head around getting the shocks balanced until the very last race. And then I had a real good tussle with Lloyd Crode. Sorry, I do apologise, I'm not saying it correctly. Real good tussle, but he won out by 2 seconds. I failed and I was second last, and I was last, so that's just the way it is. So that was the end of the 13.5 campaign. So I put the car away and I thought, I'll just look at the race and enjoy what's happening, which is really good. 13.5, 29.5, and Mod had real good finals. It was great to see these guys. The top end guys having great battles. There were moments where you thought, damn, you know, someone's just going to make a little mistake and they're going to lose out. Big shout out to all the guys out there that ran 10 Powers equipment. The gear was flawless. It worked really good. I'm sorry that I couldn't be within your rankings. It was just a shocker. That's all it was. But there is a but to the story. Now, there was a chance of running fronty at the event, but I chose not to. Now I'm kicking myself why I did not, because at the end of the festivities, the prizes, the presentation, everything else like that, the track was open for free running, go out, have a fang and all that type of stuff. I thought, bugger it, I'll charge a battery and I'll put the fronty up on the track for a bit of a fang around to see what it felt like. Go for a fang around and you know, have a play, see if I missed out on anything. Reflection. Time for reflection. I did. What an idiot. What an idiot. The car was awesome. The car was running the setup for from Bendigo for the Bendigo Classic. No changes, no goop, no heat, no nothing. Didn't have time because I packed everything away except for the car and a charged battery pack and the radio. Put the car on the track and oh my god, that was brilliant. Absolutely insane. I had about maybe 10, 12 laps and I'm thinking, damn, this thing is so good. What have I done not running it? What an idiot. I called Brian Stewart, Brian Hawaiian, and Jordan Hunting up to have a fang around. You know, they had nothing else better to do except pack their stuff up and you know, we go out for dinner before we go home. Gave the car to Brian. Had to get used to it for a quick second. And his words were, this drives like my 12 scale. It's like a slot car. It's awesome. The only thing he had to get used to was the parabolica, the big sweeper at the end of the straight. I stayed wide and cut in at the last moment. Stayed a little bit wide of centre and cut in at the last moment. So the parabolica for me was full noise. Did not lift off to go right around at full noise and just come off before you do the little hairpin to go back up and away from you to the top short straight. And the car was brilliant. He added a bit more steering than me. I tend to be a lock-to-lock driver. Brian tends to be a little bit driver, same as Jordan. So he's doing a few laps. I'm thinking, Jesus, the car's awesome. Brilliant. Geordie comes up. And Geordie takes over, drive of the car. Even he said, I need a bit more steering, so he adds a bit more than me. These guys are good. I'm a hack. I'm an old hack. And even he said, man, this thing's nice. It was full noise around the parabolic and not a flinch of lifting it off. It just went around so nicely. Infield, hairpins, back straight, squiggle, squiggle, back to the straight. It was planted. It was like a slot car. Even though the gearing was a little bit higher than it's supposed to be for what the class was running, because they sort of fixed the timing on the the FDR on the cars for the event. This thing was nailed. It was so good. And Geordie's flipping around and then goes, why didn't you drive it? Because I'm an idiot. I don't know why I did not take the chance to drive it. It was on rails, and it was running 32, no goop, no heat, no nothing, just straight on the track. Couple of quick half laps just to get the tyres bedded in for the lap, and then just bang it from that point onwards. I put a couple of videos of it going around in Brian's hands, and it is just whoosh, 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 whoosh. No upset corners, no upset rear end wanting to flick out and that type of jazz. I can just say that I'm so disappointed in myself for not running the FFV4 in the finals. There were only, I think, 8 or 9 people. Could have been a contender. Could have been top 10 in Australia, top 5, top whatever it may be. Instead, I chose to drive the good old MTS, which I know works, but the linear shocks did my head in. It is what it is. So, by the way, I did have got them figured out. I've got the right oils and set up for it until I actually get some new seals than these, because I need some new seals. But all I can say is FFV4, bang on the money on a big sweeper track, no issues. For a driver with a younger driver with better reflexes than me, I dare say it'd be bang on mark on the settings that there is, and use the tyres for the event, whatever they may be, 36s, 32s, whatever it may be. If you think you need a little bit more grip on the rear, just go to the next coldest tyre down to the front, and obviously a little bit of heat. Goop, I'm not a big fan of goop on radials because we run radials on these. Not a fan of goop, just heat. But it was freaking awesome. So I will try and put down, well actually I already did put down the video prior to this one on YouTube. The settings for Bindigo already on there. I'm going to do a change to this on though for a race coming up in a couple of weeks, which will be the Geelong Challenge. I'm going to change the oil on the front. I'm just going to go to a slightly heavier oil so it doesn't allow it to dip as much or as quick, especially on a really tight circuit. I don't want it to bubble down too fast and have myself getting to a point where it's going to grab and want to pull itself in and over rotate. But there it is. That's my my disappointment, and my apologies to you guys out there that want more information from me. I let myself down. I let the car down for not running the FFV4, and I let myself down for not getting my head around the linear shocks quick enough, because I wasn't just not used to them. And I can't run. You can and can't. You try everything from other makes and settings, but they don't work on a car the same as what it works on the original car. Another car, if you tend to copy, pardon me, setups. So, look, I do apologise. I made an ass of myself. But the FFV4 is brilliant. It is brilliant. It is ridiculously so good. I'm going to keep harping on about it. It's just something out there that's different, and it does work if you know the dynamics of an engine all the way on the front of the actual axle, compared to mid-motor cars. T3 is going to stick with clubbies. Don't think I'll be doing big events anymore with it. I'm just tired. Age in my mind, it just gives me a big punch at the end of the day, so I don't feel good about it, but it is what it is. But if you have any if you have any questions on the information that I've given you now, and you'd like to know a little bit more, because I don't see a lot of people putting up a lot of details on these cars, and they are good. Other guys have driven the cars and said they're fantastic. everything's relative to the person driving the car and how they set up the car. So if anyone has any questions out there in the world of RC cars, give us a buzz, send us a message, ask. It doesn't hurt. Regardless of me not doing too good at some events, and that's me just kicking myself more than anything else, just ask the question, what have you done? Did you do this? Did you do that? Blah, 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 and the list goes on. Setup for Bendigo's up there. How I did the setup for Bendigo's up there as well. All that type of stuff's available. Just give us a call, give us a message, send us a message. I'll read it. I'll get back to you as quick as I can. I'll be putting up more videos of these two things going around the tracks in the hands of other people, so you get an idea of how good or how bad the chassis runs. They are good cars. They are good. Cheap, but good. And obviously everyone has a preference, and the preference is usually something that's got more mainstream following, like an X-Ray or a Mugen or the new Associated. New Associated is pretty good, I got to tell you that. I do like it. Very, very well, nicely presented car. So don't look past that as a choice of a chassis. And it's reasonable. It's not crazy prices too, which is the best part of it. It's reasonable both in car and cost of parts. But enough from me. Thank you very much for your time. It's greatly appreciated. Listen to me ramble on every so often. Look out for the FFE4. I'll be down at Cirque with it. I'll be at Geelong with it. I'll be at Bendigo next time round. Templestowe as well, coming up when I can get there, depending in between what I've got to do. The T3, I'm still going to run it, but more than likely in old man class, which is 17.5, or GT with young Trevor Wade, which is commonly known in the industry as Foss. Joining him to go and pill around GT a few times with one of my shells. Thank you very much for your time. Enough is enough. I've spoken enough. It's 22 minutes, and I do greatly appreciate your time and listening to me. And look after yourselves. You know, say hello to your mum, say hello to your family, kiss your wife goodnight, pat your kids on the head if you've got kids, and I'll catch you guys on the next time. Have fun, and I'll catch you soon.